Sure, my name is Victor OJEAH. I'm a legal advisor on sovereign finance from the African Legal Support Facility. I think, first of all, that it's a very important conversation, a very important dialogue, and I'm so grateful that we have this platform, finally, to discuss about debt. I think Africa has been, for the longest time, described as the epicenter of debt. I don't agree with that categorization, but clearly with this kind of dialogue we are able to have an opportunity to discuss from our perspective what we think about debt and how we can move forward as a continent. We've often been viewed as a monolith. Perhaps it's an opportunity to now describe what that really means in reality and how we can bring our voices to the table and share our own ideas. I think it's very urgent because we are now in a state of the world where there's increased rates of debt, especially for African countries, unjustly so from my perspective. There is more financial crunching happening within the wider global economic order. And so for African countries, the implication is that we have to pay more debts. We are far more likely to request for more loans or more bonds. And we're also in a position where we are grappling with even internal structural issues. And so a conversation on debts will bring to the forefront some of those ideas, some of those thoughts that we're having in our minds, and come up with solutions that actually work for the continent. So the point being a continent-specific driven solution for the African debt concern. I hate to use the word crisis. I think the conclusions are important. They are very helpful, and I'm quite happy with them. But as I've always said, that Africa must move from rhetoric to action. I don't think that we are bereft of ideas. I don't think we are bereft of capacity. I don't think we are bereft of know-how. I think what we lack sometimes is the will to act. And so long as we are ready to do the work, Africa will be fine. Africa will do well from an economic standpoint. All of the ideas that was passed across today, all of the thoughts that were communicated from a debt standpoint as a point of resolutions are helpful. What is lacking, or what is needed even more so, is the will to execute. And so long as we can execute as a continent, I believe that we'll be in a place where we would have more agency over our affairs. I think to close, I would just say first again, Africa is not in a debt crisis. Africa is not the epicenter of debt. I think what Africa needs is the will to put together as a component unit and ensure that we have a common voice, speaking the same thing, partnering with each other and facing the world as a whole.